Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In next few minutes, we look on the month of fasting from a slightly different angle. Ramadan, or the month of fasting, is also a festival that takes place globally. But festivals are often related with some kind of enjoyment, pleasure, and quite often physical activity. Therefore, you find then in pastoral societies, when people have a crops, they celebrate that. In the so-called civilized cultures, people who think that they have some heroes who are born in mythical time or mythical history, they often celebrate their mythical birth by way of celebrations. And similarly, in some so-called secular societies, those who think that they achieved independence or they have a charismatic leader, they relate that event and celebrate that by way of festival. Therefore, you have victory festival, you have festival for independence of a country, you have festival that relate with seasons and climates. Some religious celebrations are linked directly with climate. Therefore, they only take place in winter, and even not only winter, but when it is snowing. If it does not snow, festivals lose their pleasure and their enjoyment. The festival that starts in Ramadan is a unique festival. It's a festival that creates a culture of knowledge, a book culture, a culture of introspection and thinking, a culture of developing critical approach. Therefore, the whole celebrations of the month of Ramadan are founded on 5 very brief sentences. First sentence is, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Iqra bismi rabbika allazi khalaq. Khalaqal insana min alaq. Iqra wa rabbukal akram, allazi allama bil qalam, allama al insana ma lam ya'lam. These 5 sentences are the basis and foundation of the new kind of festival. First thing that it tells is that you must develop the culture and habit of reading and reciting. In a society which was based essentially on oral traditions, a talk about reading and writing must be very strange. That's why it was a revolutionary call. It brought revolution in the mind of the people who were around there. For centuries they were used to oral tradition and stories and poetry which was done orally. But now the revelation comes and tells them, you must read, you must increase your knowledge. Second, it tells us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made you from a clot. Try to find out how He made you. Look at the clot and find out what kind of chromosomes that clot has, what kind of structure it has, what is your gene, and does gene have that much capacity to do everything for itself, or gene is Allah's creation with everything at a minute level fully fashioned and designed. Even the whole memory that exists in that small dot-like phenomena, how that takes place, call for investigation, research, development. The third ayah tells us that He taught man with pen, Allah bil qalam, and that means this new culture or this new month of Ramadan in which Quran was revealed invites people to make use of their skill to learn to write and produce thought. Scholars either transfer their knowledge verbally or they do with the help of pen. In a society which always felt proud in being ummi, a new culture emerges, not because of society, but because of revelation. It was revelation that changed this culture, and not that revelation was product of that society. Therefore, the other sentence said, Allah taught you what you never knew. And that means it was revelation that unveiled to you what you never knew. This was true in the case of Prophet, peace be upon him. The Prophet never went to a school of medical and physical sciences to understand what is a gene and how human beings are born. He never went to a school of archery to learn how to fight and how to be a chief of army staff. But it was revelation that taught him and told him how he should behave as a chief of army, as chief of Supreme Court or chief judge of the community, and at the same time how he should develop institutional framework for a state. Everything was given by revelation. Therefore, the whole month is a month of festivity, but not in the sense of jumping around, dancing, having illuminations, but in the sense of looking back into Quran, trying to think over it. The Quran says very clearly that we have made this Quran very simple and easy for you. We have indeed made this Quran something very easy for you. Is there someone who is going to think, going to look into it, ponder upon it, and come up with results of thought? This change of mind, this change of culture requires that this whole month may be spent in finding out from every single sentence of the Quran or ayah of the Quran what is the message for man in 21st century. What is the message for those who will come after 100 years from now? How humanity is to experience peace, love and justice. Basic concept in the Quran. The Quran always talks about these basic concepts, that you must have peace, salam and Islam. You must have always fairness, adl and justice. You must have always beauty and husn. A book which is from cover to cover loaded with these assertions of virtues and values cannot be a book that can produce fundamentalists. It can only be a book that produces people who think critically, who have open-minded approach, who are always prepared to review their opinions, and who always try to search. Therefore, the message that it gives is recite, learn, read, think and produce. This is why the first 5 words of revelation, first 5 ayat of the Wahi that were recited earlier in the part of this program tell us that the whole month is meant for revival of this culture of knowledge, this book culture, this culture of intellectualism. Reason and logic is the basis of every single statement in the Quran. But that's not human logic. It is divine logic. It is divine language. It is divine message. It is divine structure. Human beings, however, are most welcome to understand, decipher these in very simple words, and anyone who can read the Quran in Arabic or even in translation will find a wealth of information in very small sentences, and that makes this whole month a month of blessings with knowledge and knowledge creation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to think more deeply on the Quran and come up with lessons which are useful for knowledge development, knowledge transfer and knowledge realization. Wa Rabbil Alameen.